Forward Thinking, Cryptocurrency Regulations in LatAm.
Hello everyone and welcome to our panel today. We're discussing cryptocurrency regulations in LatAm. Yes, today we will dive into the regulations in Latin America. And firstly, let's start with quick introductions and we can move forward with the discussions. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Elena Obukhova. I'm a business strategist, entrepreneur, and founder of FS Fintech Advisory Services. We're an international company with blockchain expertise and bridging the gap in VC investment field by helping promising startups in getting access to VC investors, as well as helping SMBs to scale up their business. And today we have two more speakers, Jose Lanz, who is a journalist, lawyer, specialist in strategic planning, and also a professor whose work was covered in various crypto and blockchain publications. Jose, could you please tell a little bit more about yourself before we move to Etienne?
Well, thanks for the invitation. I'm actually a lawyer. I exercised my profession for a couple of years, over a decade, before starting to move towards the crypto space. And right now, I have been focused on writing about cryptocurrencies basically since a little bit before the 2017 boom. And like a lot of people say, I haven't ever looked back. So basically, I've been working with several media. Right now, I'm focusing with Decrypt Media, which is an editorial funded by Consensus, which is a major corporation focused on decentralization of finance. And a lot of blockchain.
Thank you, Jose. And we also have today Etienne Luquet. Etienne is the CEO of Legal Lab, a startup that applies emerging tech to solve legal problems. Etienne, could you please tell us more about your current projects and a little bit more about your background?
Yeah, sure. First and foremost, thanks for the invitation. I'm very glad to be here. Well, I'm a lawyer. I went to Harvard Law School. Afterwards, I worked for the government. I clerked for a Supreme Court justice in Mexico. I worked for the Department of Justice in Mexico. And around 2017, just like Jose, I decided to focus on technology. I started with artificial intelligence. Afterwards, I moved to the crypto space also, because the crypto offers so many solutions regarding legal and juridical problems. And I decided to just create a really small startup that actually tries to just develop apps and technology for lawyers. And also, I have a legal practice regarding fintech and technology. And let's say this has been moving quick. Because it's something that just boomed around 4 or 3 years ago. There's been a lot of advancement in LatAm, and I hope we can talk about it.
Thank you, Etienne, for the introduction. So let's start with our discussion. As we all know, Latin America is one of the fastest growing regions in terms of the crypto adoption. And what is the status of cryptocurrencies in the Latin American region? Maybe Etienne, you can start giving a little bit more insights in this topic, and Jose can also share his point of view and experience.
Sure. Well, let's say that crypto is really a magical solution for the monetary and economic problems that are current currency in some Latin American countries, Argentina, Venezuela, these are the crypto has been really a solution for just making people safe in their property and their money, because like a lot of restrictions are in place in some of these countries. At the same time, Latin America has been a great laboratory, because there are some special circumstances that actually help these special this space to grow. And at the same time, we've seen a phenomenon that is very interesting with countries like Mexico or Brazil or even Colombia that actually have tried to regulate the space. And I think we can talk about it a little bit later, but Mexico is one of the first countries in the world to actually have a fintech law that actually regulates payment systems, cryptocurrencies, and crowdfunding. So this has been a very interesting experience, because we also created a sandbox where people can actually create new models that don't fit the legal definitions of crowdfunding or payment systems, and they can be regulated by the authorities. At the same time, there's still a lot of a pushback from financial entities, and especially pushback in the crypto space, because after the 2017 boom and all the ICOs, there were a lot of scams. So people, and especially the authorities, are very scared that people are getting they're getting scammed and not getting or people are taking other people's money away. So it's a very, like I said, it's very interesting, because we have things going on. So I don't know if Jose wants to accompany in this.
Yeah, sure.
And Jose, what is
sorry, to allow.
Huh?
Yeah, sorry, Jose. Yeah, what is your opinion on the current situation in Latin American countries?
Yeah, well, basically, Latin America, we're gonna know that it's like a very heterogeneous place, and every country has its own way to regulate things, and it's not like a uniform criteria. And when it comes to many things, cryptocurrencies, technology, and everything. So we have basically three groups of countries. In my opinion, that's how I see it. It's basically we can group those countries into three criteria. The first one is where cryptocurrency is legal, and the other one is where cryptocurrency is illegal, and the third one is where cryptos are illegal or basically unregulated. That's important to know. And legal is when you have a norm or a legal framework that says you can do this because there's a law that protects you. Illegal is basically the contrary. There's a law that explicitly says you cannot do that. And illegal or unregulated is when you have no law that doesn't, you have no law that regulates something. So basically, it's not technically forbidden, but you don't know what the authorities are going to do. We have a premise that is named nullum crimen, nulla pena sine lege, which basically says if there is no law that explicitly says something is it's illegal, you can basically do it. What is not explicitly forbidden is passively or tacitly allowed. Basically, the countries that deem cryptocurrency as illegal have been lowering the number, and right now only Bolivia forbids the use of cryptocurrencies in general, except those that are not, because those are not assets or currencies that are backed by a government. They say that only we allow to use any kind of money that is covered by a bank. And this is very interesting because we have another extreme, like such as Venezuela, where they have tried to create a whole legal framework around cryptocurrencies, and basically the state has created a token, and that would fall into the category of a state-backed token, which is the Petro. And we can say whatever we want about it, but the whole once their politicians committed to create a cryptocurrency, and they have tried to regulate everything along the way. How do we tax? How do we allow international transactions? Is it money? Is it not money? Etc. And Colombia is also trying really hard to regulate the space, but actually there the whole crypto space is in a legal situation because the efforts have not come to an end. They have tried with a law, the law 028 in 2018, which was, they let it go. And now Congressman Mauro Toro, among others, are trying to push for a law to try to regulate the space, but it's very hard because they form a shield on their financial system because of all the illegal activity that was happening there in the 90s. And Brazil and Argentina are also trying to regulate the space, but they are mostly focusing on cryptocurrencies, not in the tokens per se, but around the transactions. They want to regulate the way people transact with cryptocurrencies and not really the whole space. So basically, Latin America is a very interesting place to be, and an interesting region to follow, because not every country thinks alike. It's like a nice way to see how people try different approaches and different solutions to the same issue, to the same problem, and let's see how they work.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of things going on. And Etienne, my next question to you, as you mentioned, the Fintech laws, it was implemented in 2018. And as I remember, it put additional limits on the crypto transactions. It's very interesting to know how did it actually affect local crypto businesses?
This is a very interesting question. Like you said, since 2018, there has been a regulation on cryptocurrencies. The law actually defines a cryptocurrency as a virtual active, a virtual asset. And this is very interesting because it's one of the few countries that actually has a definition for cryptocurrencies. Like you know, in the States, there's still a struggle to determine whether crypto is code or is an asset or is money. Whereas in Mexico, they define it, and this was at some level a very good option because you know what to expect when you transact with one of these currencies. At the same time, afterwards, the central bank decided in 2019 that cryptocurrencies could only be used by banks. Between them and internal transactions, and therefore forbid any type of exchanges to buy cryptos. This was fought by some of the local exchanges, as you know, Bitso or Volabit. They all came up with some way of just making an regulation arbitrage and get off the hook. And actually, you can still buy cryptos in Mexico via Bitso, via Volabit. But the idea behind this is that the central banks think that cryptos are scams. Therefore, the public should be protected, and the only use you can have for cryptos is for big financial transactions between financial entities, banks, insurance companies, or other type of auxiliary financial institutions. Therefore, we are living, like Jose said, in this kind of a gray space where even though it's regulated, it's not regulated, and is since the definitions that were given are so specific, there is a lot of room for lawyers to just get around the rules and do other things. At the same time, as you know, there is a problem with jurisdictions because a lot of these apps, for example, and you know many of them, Coinbase, CoinEx, or BitMEX, they're outside of Mexico. Therefore, you can just download the app. As long as you follow KYC, you can buy all the crypto assets you want. So I don't think it has been a good policy, even though it was a well-intended policy, because the idea behind this is no more scams. But at the same time, this is, in my opinion, not the best way to do it. So Mexico is living a very bizarre situation regarding this. And at the same time, I think there are many lawyers that are challenging these rules. And one of the main arguments that is given is that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are code and therefore cannot be treated as an asset or a money or even a virtual asset. Therefore, for all purposes, tax purposes, commercial purposes, etc. So I hope we'll see one of these cases arrive to the Supreme Court pretty soon, and then we'll have some light on what follows.
Thank you, Etienne. We're actually running out of time. So I think we have maybe a few seconds just to cover final remarks. So as we already discussed, the crypto regulations in LatAm are still evolving, and it still takes time to have some settled framework for crypto and blockchain projects. And maybe you can just say in one sentence, what do you expect in future? Do you expect the government to tighten regulations or to ease crypto regulations? Jose, you can start just in maybe like one sentence. What do you expect?
No, I think there is confusion in the whole ecosystem, and especially in the way that politicians think about cryptocurrency. So I don't see a very specific solution on the short term, and I see that basically in terms of regulatory issues, we're going to be pretty much the same as we are right now.
Okay,
it's hard.
And
it's very
Etienne,
hard to
what do you think about the situation in future?
The code is law, therefore the code will survive and doesn't care about any regulation.
Perfect. Thank you a lot for your inputs today and this great discussion. I hope it was very useful and interesting for all people who are watching us right now. And thank you again for participating.